I have been told by people that my study habits are weird. And it's not that I purposely want to be weird. It's just that when it comes to focusing and studying, I am garbage. I get so easily distracted and I procrastinate so much that I need to trick my brain into getting me to work. So let's go on a rundown of the dumbest things I do to stay productive. Making sure your most used apps are not easily accessible on your phone. A lot of the times, having your phone near you while you're studying is a huge trap. But even outside studying, your phone can easily grab your attention when you're not expecting it. You see, once upon a time, I used to keep all my social media apps on one page on my phone. And whenever I was bored, I would swipe to it and open them all one by one, giving each app an opportunity to waste my time. And before I knew it, I had spent 30 minutes on TikTok, an hour on Instagram. So what I did instead was remove all apps from pages on my phone to the point where there's only essential apps and widgets. This makes it so that when I open my phone, I'm only met with blank pages. And if I truly want to open those apps, I have to deliberately think of which app to open and type it into the search bar. And the act of deliberately searching what you want to use actually gives you a little bit more time to think about, wait, should I really be doing this right now? Leaving your room. Why would you take extra time to walk somewhere when you could just do it at home? But what I realized is that why do people go to the office? Why do people go to the gym? It's because of the mindset of being at a location. When you associate a space with a certain activity, it's just much easier for you to get into the mental space for that activity. So for me, any kind of focused studying, I just cannot do it at home. Home is where you watch TV, eat, sleep, play video games. All these distractions are all around you. And when there are distractions, your quality of work is going to be much, much lower. Delete certain apps and only use the web application version of them. You see, here's the story. I was addicted to Instagram, and Instagram is made to be addicting. And at some point I said, you know what? I'm gonna set an app limit on it. You know, that'll fix my problem, right? That didn't really help at all because it's just one button you have to click. So as soon as I reached the 1 hour mark, I would just click it away and I'd be right back to where I started. Then I tried another step, which was completely deleting the Instagram app off my phone. And that was difficult because there's definitely a sense of missing out. You know, you won't get your messages, you're missing your friends' posts. And then it finally all clicked. I told myself I could use Instagram as much as I wanted, but only through the web browser on my phone. But the experience on the web application on your phone is garbage. It is so bad, and that's actually perfect. And every time I wait that extra second for something to load, it gives me time to think, wait, what am I doing right now? Using black and white mode on your phone. Companies are carefully researching the layouts, the colors, everything about their apps to make them as addictive as possible. Case in point, did you notice that Instagram a while back changed the colors on their logo just ever so slightly? This was intentional to make the colors pop a little bit more. And this kind of stuff is used everywhere in all kinds of social media sites. These are all designed to make you use the app as much as possible. And the quickest, easiest way to regain control of all these companies' hold over your brain is to turn the phone into black and white mode. Everything becomes the most dull and boring version of the app, even though fundamentally, the whole thing is exactly the same. And so a lot of the time when I'm on a break from studying, instead of telling myself that I'm not going to use my phone at all, which is sometimes unrealistic, instead I tell myself, you can use your phone, just only in black and white mode. And in this mode, I can still do everything I want to do, but it just looks all so boring and unpleasant because it makes you want to just stop using it and get back to what you were doing. Physically hiding your phone. Make your phone as hard to access as possible. This all started when I first started putting my phone right next to my laptop. And when I was studying, sometimes I would just glance over and think, well, what if I just check my messages? And then an hour later, I realized, well, that didn't work out. So then I started putting my phone behind my laptop so that it was out of my line of sight. And it actually helped a lot because while I was working or studying, I wouldn't see my phone and I wouldn't have that impulse to pick it up and use it. But of course, on my most distracted days, I would still reach around my laptop, pick up my phone and start using it. So then I started to learn to physically put distance between my phone and myself. I would physically put my phone in my backpack, zip it up, and put it across the table from where I was at. And just by making it as difficult as possible to get up, go to my backpack, and get my phone, I used it less. Flipping my bed up while in my room. Ugh. So this is the most absurd one by far. But this is a continuation of me always leaving my house when I study and never studying in my room. But you know, sometimes that's just not possible. There's always reasons where you inevitably need to study in your room. It was incredibly easy for me to tell myself, you know, I'm just gonna lay in bed for 5 minutes and then come right back to work. And suddenly you're there for like an hour and you're like, what just happened? But this worked out pretty well. Now during my breaks, I have to sit on my bed frame or on the floor. It actually prevents me from taking way too long of a break. So in conclusion, a lot of these tips make it sound like I have like ADHD or something. And I feel like a lot of these steps, as idiotic as some of them are, were just extremely helpful. There's obviously probably a lot of other better ways, but these are the best ways I found for me.